Hello everyone and welcome back to yet another video on my channel. In this video I will be ranking my top 5 favorite Skylanders. The ranking will mainly be based on their movesets and how much I like their moves, how much I enjoy their moves, maybe even some memories I have with them, although that is kind of specific. And I will also touch upon their designs, although that won't really be a factor into the ranking. But yeah, without further ado, let's get to ranking. So we kick off the top 5 with Magnet Charge. I know it is a pretty basic character to put on your top 5 or top 10 favorite list, but I mean, come on. You can pick up enemies and throw them off cliffs. I think that says that's enough to put him at least in like top 10. So for his attacks, you have his basic long range spammy attack. It's pretty powerful. You can also get to overheat, which makes him shoot a big fireball across the battlefield, which is kind of insane. And he also has a speed attack to just zoom around the battlefield. He can also pick up enemies with that, although that's not as useful, but it can still be fun to mess around with that. And his third attack, well, it's his magnet. He can just pick up enemies with it and just throw them across the field. So yeah, it's just one of the most insane Skylanders, honestly, because he can just pick up enemies and throw them anywhere he wants, including off cliffs, basically insta-killing them. I also really like his design. He looks like a character that would be featured in a robots movie. Gosh, I love that movie. I wonder how old that movie is, but he looks like a character that would just really fit into that movie. I'm sorry for that voice crack. But yeah, I just really like his design as well. And his moveset is just straight up perfect. The main reason he's not top 1, honestly, is that remaining Skylanders are just a lot more broken than him in game. That's it, really. But yeah, that's number 5. On to number 4. At number 4, I have Bumbleblast, or as I like to call, Bumbly Boy. Well, first of all, his design. I think out of all the trees, he has straight up the best design. Just a tree that's a beehive and also has a tongue made of honey. I think that's just a very clever idea. So that's definitely helping him out a bit. But then you get to his attacks, and his attacks are incredible. His main attack, where he shoots bees, just homes and swarms on all the enemies. You can also charge it up to make it a queen bee that knocks enemies into the air. And also just deals a load of damage. He can also shoot honey at his enemies. When an enemy is covered in honey, his bees deal more damage. So yeah, you should definitely use that attack. And his third attack is basically like his second attack, but it's a lot more close ranged, but it's a bomb. It's basically a honey bomb he puts in front of him, and just knocks his enemies all over the place. But also covers them in honey. So you really gotta use these two attacks in specific situations. So, and yeah, his moveset, just like Magnet Charge, is just straight up perfect. Um, the only thing is he doesn't really have a dash, but it's not that big of a problem with him, especially since he can attack enemies that are behind him. And he also just has an incredibly big health bar for some reason. Like, why did they give a ranged character like 995 maximum health, without charms and hats, by the way? Um, I don't know why they decided to do that, but I'm not complaining. But that was number 4. On to number 3. At number 3, I have Batspin. Now, design wise, this character is definitely not the best compared to the other Skylanders, especially compared to Magnacharge and Bumble Blast. But moveset wise, this is one of the most complex and best Skylanders, in my opinion. Um, First of all, her primary bat's attack is a great range attack. She also gets bat's minions that help her a lot. She has one bat minion that basically uh, acts like a frisbee that shoots out together with her primary attack, dealing a bunch of damage, but that and then also returning, dealing a bunch of damage to the same enemy. Um, she also has a minion that deflects projectiles, which is kind of insane, and also has a minion that stuns enemies. So, yeah. Her first attack is already really insane. She can also charge it up to have more bats on the field and deal a bunch of damage. um, This pairs very well with her second attack, where she calls back all of her bats and then makes them spin around herself. This is a really good AoE and just deals a ton of damage. It's just straight up a blender on the field. Um, oh, and did I mention that the bats that attack the enemies can also heal you? The healing isn't much. It depends on how much the bat has attacked an enemy. Um, but yeah, it can range from 3 to maybe even 21 in some cases. It just kind of depends. Um, but yeah, this pairs very well with her second attack. Her third attack, which is her bat form, isn't amazing, but it gives her a good or at least decent melee option. She's also a lot more nimble in that form, at least to me. Um, and she also has a pretty fast walking speed, surprisingly. Like, she walks a lot faster than most of the Skylanders, despite not having a dash. So yeah, that's a big plus. Um, the only thing is that her armor and HP aren't the best, but she can heal, so that makes up for it, in my opinion. Um, I will be honest, this might be a little biased because I just recently got this character like a month ago, maybe even 2 months at this point. Um, but yeah, I've honestly just had fun ever since I've played first played as her. I really wish I had this character back when I first got Trap Team, because I feel like if I did, she'd be like top 1 because she's just so fun to play. But yeah, that's number 3. On to number 2. At number 2, I have Zap. Now Zap is my one of my first ever Skylanders. I got him in a triple pack along with hot dog and a magic item named, I think it was the catapult one. Um, but yeah, he was just straight up one of my first Skylanders, so I'm kind of biased towards him because of that. But honestly, his moveset just is just great. It flows incredibly well. His first attack just chains off of enemies and deals a great amount of damage. You can just spam it all over the place. It also just bounces around walls. If you need it, if that's ever useful. I never really found a use for that, but it's definitely an option. His second dash attack. Well, it's great for speed. It's honestly the best dash out of any Skylander. You can also electrocute the sea slime he leaves on the ground. And enemies get stuck on the slime, meaning that they cannot just walk over it whenever they want. They have to just struggle through the slime while getting electrocuted. And by the time they make it through, they just lost a ton of their health. And by that time, they're just basically dead. Because you can also use his primary attack and his surf attack to deal a bunch of damage to him. And his surf attack has knockback, meaning that you can actually knock enemies back into the sea slime if you want to, which is hilarious. He also is pretty good in trap team, surprisingly, because all of his attacks just stun enemies, like for a good 5 seconds, at least medium enemies. And this just makes him broken in trap team, honestly. And his moveset is also just a ton of fun. You can just combine all of his attacks together. Really, you can just use your first and second attack, or second and third attack, or your first and third attack. It doesn't matter. All of the attacks work. It straight up doesn't matter. So yeah, that's number 2. On to number 1. Alright, so at number 1, my all-time favorite Skylander is Rattleshake. Now, why do I like Rattleshake? Well, mainly because of his soul gem, honestly. That soul gem is just insane for nightmare mode. It basically makes your enemies deal one third of the damage they would normally deal. And on nightmare mode, that basically means you can take 7 more hits than you usually would be able to. And on nightmare mode, you can usually just only take like 3 until you die. So yeah, that just makes him broken. But that's not the only thing. First of all, his design. His design is mainly based off of Midwest cowboy culture. That's not really done with any other Skylander, so he's definitely unique in that part. And I just really like that aesthetic on him. His moveset is also really great. He has a regular range attack. It's very spammable. You can also charge it to shoot a sneak out that bounces off of his enemies and also poisons the first target it hits. His secondary attack you can just use to whack your enemies all over the place. You can also charge it to make a skeleton snake come out of the ground, which is really sick. It's also really powerful. It also has great knockback. His third ability is basically him shooting or throwing a snake ally onto the field that slows enemies down, which is also really useful. But to be honest, in most cases, you won't even need this because his other 2 moves are already amazing. Like, you just don't even need that in most cases. It's usually just there for chip damage. So yeah, he's just broken, honestly. And he also has a pretty quick walking speed as well, mainly thanks to that soul gem. So yeah, That's why Rattle Shake is my all-time favorite Skylander. He's also just incredibly fun, just like Zap. So that was my top 5. I would like to apologize to anyone I made upset by making this list. But just a reminder that this is my opinion. You can have your own opinion. Nobody is correct. Unless it's my opinion, of course. I'm always correct, and your opinion is wrong. Just kidding. But come on now. If your opinion is not the same as mine, you're wrong. Because that's how opinions work. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. My first ranking video ever. I'll see if I ever do one of these again. It was definitely something different than what I've been posting on my channel so far. So yeah, who knows, maybe I'll do more in the future. But that's gonna do it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Later.